but the Broncos are only slightly better through the first 4 games. Sunday, a pair of 3-1 teams meet in London, the Packers and the Giants. ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum says the Packers' record is good, but quarterback Aaron Rodgers has not been able to spark the offense yet.
If the object of the exercise is to win a championship, and presumably that's what it is since he came back, Tom Brady's out there looking for parks in Tampa Bay to just get a little bit better, and that's where I think it falls short between what he's saying he wants to do and his actions, and that's why they're struggling. They are 3-1, but look who they've played.
Mike Tannenbaum on Get Up. ESPN Radio's Ian Fitzsimmons reports Texas A&M quarterback Max Johnson could miss the rest of the season with a broken bone in his left hand, his throwing hand. Johnson got hurt last week against Mississippi State. The Aggies play number 1 Alabama on Saturday.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
I just don't want Mitchell Trubisky on our team. I don't know what it is. This is personal for me. It's fine. I'm allowed to have feelings and emotions.
It's Friday with Key, J, and Max. It all starts at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. My goodness, are we loaded up. Ryan Clark in 15 minutes. Fantasy Blitz later this hour. Jimmy Burrow 1 hour from right now. Jayson Swain, VFL, former Tennessee wide receiver, next hour. Mike Triplett in hour 3. I mean, we have got a ton. I know, like, Football Friday is the thing. This feels like Football Thursday. Man, we are just absolutely jam-packed football talk for the next 3 hours. And glad to have you aboard with us here. Let's start. The Saints injury reported out. I'll get to that in just a second. 2 players that we're keeping a very close eye on, Jameis Winston, Michael Thomas. It's not good news, but we'll get to that in a second. Josh Heupel met with the media on Thursday, and one of the biggest questions for Tennessee at this moment is about Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman is their leading returning wide receiver from a year ago. He had over 1,000 yards, over 60 catches, 12 touchdowns. And 3 weeks ago against Akron, he took a low hit, injured his ankle. He missed the Florida game. He had the tightrope procedure that was sort of made well-known by Tua back in 2019. You all probably remember that procedure. I'm not going to try to describe it to you, but it's intended to stabilize the ankle. Typically, they say it takes about a month to come back from that. So Saturday will be 3 weeks for Cedric Tillman from the initial injury, not even from the procedure. So it's probably safe to say it's unlikely that Cedric Tillman plays, but Josh Heupel on Thursday morning gave an update on his star receiver.
Cedric's able to move around. Ultimately, that'll be a decision the medical staff and him make tomorrow, whether or not he's going to play. So they said he's on the field. He's moving around. Certainly didn't seem super confident. It is worth noting that Tennessee did beat Florida, did put up 38 points and over 400 yards of offense without Cedric Tillman. And right now, Hendon Hooker is leaning on Jalen Hyatt and Brew McCoy as his leading receivers. Hyatt with 23 catches on the season, McCoy with 13. Tillman, despite not playing against Florida, is still the second leading receiver on the team. But that is, look, they didn't have an issue against Florida without Cedric Tillman, but, man, there's certainly a better offense with him on the field,
And it sure seems as though they're not going to have him this Saturday in Tiger Stadium, but remains to be seen. That's the absolute latest there. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Meanwhile, for the Saints, the injury report is out, and Mike Triplett will be with us in hour number 3, and he did note that at practice today, still no Jameis Winston or Michael Thomas during the early portion of Saints practice. That was open to the media. That, of course, as Mike notes, makes their chances of playing Sunday against the Seahawks slim. Also not participating today, Peyton Turner, P.J. Williams, Calvin Throckmorton. So that means Andres Pete was out there, again, limited for the second consecutive day, and that certainly looks as though Pete would be trending toward playing. I mean, that's a fingers crossed, knock on wood, we'll see. He's got to be cleared of the concussion protocol. But if you get Andres Pete back, then clearly that's a better option than than not having Pete or Throckmorton. But pretty clearly what that suggests here on Thursday, with still time, 72 hours until the game on Sunday. But it would suggest that if you still don't have Michael Thomas or Jameis Winston practicing, it stands to reason that what the Saints are saying is, listen, we're not going to try to run these guys back out there more quickly than they are ready. Take your time, get healthy, and return when ready. That's what it certainly seems like as of right now, and it's probably a pretty good path forward. As we mentioned, the Saints are 5.5-point favorites against Seattle, even with the uncertainty surrounding Jameis and Michael Thomas right now. So if you are the Saints, the very measured approach would be let those guys get healthy and then bring them back when they're ready. There was another interesting tidbit, though, and it came from Alvin Kamara, who met with the media on Wednesday, and Alvin's always been very good with the media. But this was a moment of real clarity, and I think transparency is probably a good word to use here. Sometimes when a team is losing, what you hear from players and coaches is coach speak, it's cliche, it's generalities, and sometimes you get the opposite. Sometimes you get quotable things, like famously Aaron Rodgers a few years ago with his relax comment. This was kind of in the middle of that. This was Alvin Kamara just being very candid about what's going wrong with this team right now and how they fix it.
It's football. You're not going to be perfect. Sometimes some of these things are happening in practice. And, I think starting with me, we might see it in, whereas I think in the past, sometimes we're more, I think, focused and more, I think, harder or more harsh on it than we have been in these past couple of weeks. So it starts with, the captains. I mean, me being a captain on offense, Ram and Jameis and Andy, like guys like that, just stepping up and being like, yo, that's not acceptable. We can't keep doing that, because when we do it in practice and don't say shit, then it ends up happening on Sunday. And then, it's not like we could redo on Sunday, you end up losing. So, I think just got to be more vocal and be more attentive and basically just more detailed when it comes to things like that, like those pre-snap penalties and just penalties, period, mistakes.
When things happen in practice and you don't say anything, he was bleeped out there, but when you don't say anything, it carries over to the game and then you lose. There's no redo on Sunday. And he's right. What is ailing the Saints right now is the fact that they are an undisciplined football team. The Saints are dead last in the NFL in turnovers, and they're dead last in penalties. When you look at each of their 3 losses, it is very clear to point out what the things are that led to those losses. I know the Twitter mob and the fan sentiment is to grab your torches and pitchforks and yell at the refs, but the refs didn't fumble twice in London. Andy Dalton fumbled at the 10-yard line and gave Minnesota a field goal. Deontay Hardy fumbled a punt at midfield when your defense got on the field and flipped the field. Were there bad calls? Yes, there were. Absolutely. But you also had penalties that allowed drives to stay alive and penalties that took drive and scoring opportunities away from you that were legitimate. It's your own self-inflicted wounds. Mark Ingram fumbled at the 10-yard line against Tampa Bay. The refs didn't. Alvin Kamara fumbled, scoop and score against Carolina. Will Lutz missed a field goal doinked or had another blocked. I mean, your self-inflicted wounds is why you are where you are if you're the Saints. And you've got to fix those things. And to hear Alvin Kamara leads me to believe that's stuff they see in practice every day, and they're just not speaking up. And maybe that's where you're missing Drew Brees or Sean Payton. Like, who is the figurehead? Who is the one that's going to stand up? And my assumption all offseason was, man, you have great player leadership. You've got Cam Jordan. You've got veteran guys who have been around. You've got DeMario Davis. And Kamara, Ramczyk, he just rattled off all the names. You've got great player leadership in the locker room that it's going to be a seamless transition, and it just hasn't been, clearly. And Alvin Kamara was telling you that. Maybe, though, what that suggests is a lot of this stuff is fixable. And, brother, you better get it fixed in a hurry because you're a 5.5-point home favorite against Seattle, and if you don't get this one and you fall to 1-4, it's over. Like, there are not enough wins on that schedule to dig yourself out of a 1-4 start and be a playoff team. It's just not a thing that's doable. You've got to go get this game on Sunday. All right, that's further review. Oh, we're not going to break. When we come back, we'll talk to Ryan Clark. Joins us every Thursday. Love having RC. All right, we'll talk to RC about, man, he was part of 3 amazing games against Tennessee. I want to talk to him about that, the 2000-2001 games, and then also how in the world defensively do you try to stop this Tennessee offense? We'll talk about that with RC next on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Get to the website. They have awesome giveaways. You can win a Vespa right now, as a matter of fact. And if you want to enter to win the Saints Coca-Cola Cash Catch, one of their in-game promotions, you can do that as well at the website at Rouse's.com. So go to Rouse's.com or download the Rouse's app. Remember, also at Rouse's, they've got delivery and pickup options, so it makes it easy. LSU plays early on Saturday. Of course, the Saints play at noon on Sunday. So if you're having your tailgate or your game watch, you need all of your tailgate items or your home gate items. They got you covered. Your party platters, your sandwich trays, if you want wings or ribs or whatever it is to feed a few or a lot, Rouse's can help you out. All of your game day beverages as well, your local craft beers, full liquor and whiskey selection. You can find it all at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Delivery and pickup available at Rouse's.
after further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. It's time to talk Tigers with former LSU safety Ryan Clark. Presented by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today.
All right, let's do it, RC. What's good, man?
What up, though?
Hey, man, I got to talk about how in the world LSU is going to stop this Tennessee offense. But first, man, you played in 3 amazing, like super memorable legacy games against Tennessee. The overtime win in 2000, the loss at Neyland in 01, and then the win in the SEC championship game. If I asked you, man, when I mention LSU-Tennessee, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Something that comes to no one's mind but me and probably one other person in the world.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is the answer that you want. So
I want your answer.
Walking off the field after beating Tennessee in the SEC championship, I'm walking next to Kelly Washington, who was the receiver.
Of course.
Very good player. Ended up getting drafted, I think, 3rd round by Cincinnati. You know, he played baseball, came back, older guy. Walking off, I'm telling him he's a good player, man. You know, he had a great career ahead of him. And he tells me, he looks at me, he smiles. He's like, man, I'm not worried about this game. He says, I'm going to be a 1st-round pick, and you're never going to play a down in the NFL. That is what I remember most about playing Tennessee 3 times in college.
RC, I mean, famously, Kelly Washington had over 200 yards the game earlier that year in Neyland, and LSU got retribution in the SEC championship game, which was phenomenal. Have you talked to Kelly Washington since then?
I saw Kelly Washington, I think my 3rd year in the league, maybe. We played Cincinnati. Maybe my 3rd or 4th year I saw him. By the time my career ended, I didn't see him because he had been gone for like a decade. So I didn't, he had been nowhere on the face of the earth to be noticed in a football uniform at that point. So I'm not really sure where he is now. But yeah, I saw him, and it wasn't really a big deal. Like what I do remember is playing in Tennessee was the worst game I played as a starter at LSU. Like had I probably not done everything I'd done up to that point at LSU, I probably would have been benched. Like, had I not shown, like, a long time of being a way better player than that, shortly after, Coach Saban calls me in, like, we get to Kentucky. I don't even know when this was as compared to the season. I think we played Tennessee and Florida, and I was terrible in both games, actually, really bad. I was the only reason Florida wasn't my worst game I ever played at LSU was because Tennessee was. Coach Saban called me into the office. And, like, I never thought about, like, the NFL and those things by that point. I just wanted to play. And he's like, I've never seen such a good player play so uncharacteristically bad. And he was like, man, I've had more late-round draft picks play for forever in the NFL. You know what I mean? And he's like, and all you got to do is do what you've been doing your whole career. Just be you. And he's like, and you'll be one of those guys. And that kind of settled me down, and we played the rest of the season. But I just remember, like, Tennessee, man, haunting me for a long time after that. And I was glad we got to beat them later. But the thing that's most memorable, obviously, is Kelly Washington telling me that. And I like to find him now, actually. That'd be fun. Be a good pivot.
Now, that is a wonderful transition, as a matter of fact. The Pivot Podcast, if you haven't done so yet, man, y'all got to subscribe up on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. The guy spent 90 minutes with Griffey Jr., the kid. Candidly, RC, I mean, I was up past midnight on Tuesday watching the episode. It was awesome, man. You said you did more than 90 minutes with him, though?
Yeah, it's so funny. So first off, you heard he flew himself there. He flew himself there on his own jet.
Learn that. Ken Griffey Jr. is a pilot and flies himself places, yes.
Right, which is his 7th jet. You know what I mean? And so, like, that's the first thing. And he has a boat, which if you watch all the way to the end, you know, man. It's we used to do 45 minutes with everybody. Try to keep it at 45 because we thought it was the sweet spot. But then as people got more comfortable with us and would talk to us more, I just told our producer, who's amazing, she has 11 Emmys, I told her, I was like, if they want to talk, let them talk.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you're so good at what you do. You'll cut it down to the stuff people need to hear. I was like, but when you have a Ken Griffey Jr. sitting with you and he just wants to sit and have conversation, you let him have that conversation. And so we had him picked up from the private airport and brought to the hotel where we shot it. And that guy that drives him drives Saquon, Odell when he's in town in New York, all those people. And he said coming over, Ken Griffey Jr. told him not to leave because he was only going to be 30 minutes doing the podcast. He's like, I'm going to give him 30 minutes. I got to fly out, and then I'm gone. And obviously it turned into what it turned into, man. I think we're going to Orlando to shoot First Take tomorrow. He actually invited us to his house, which is cool. Probably just to, like, show us more stuff we can't afford, though. But man, I think that's, like, the coolest thing. And the one thing I learned about him was, though, that was cool is, like, he's the most confident human I've ever been around that didn't come off as arrogant or cocky. Like when I asked him, like, man, when did you realize that, you were the person they came to see? He's like, I've always been that.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy that didn't come off arrogant to me. I was like, oh, I get it. Like, you're Ken Griffey Jr., or when he said, when Fred asked him a question, we often ask great athletes, would you trade the Hall of Fame or all the accolades for a World Series? And he was like, no. And that's normally not what you get, right? People give you, I trade it all to be a champion. He was like, nah. He's like, there's a lot of people in the world, that can say they're a champion. He's like, but it's a lot more people that can say they're a champion and they say they're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was dope to just talk to somebody with so much talent, with such a different perspective.
Griffey was awesome, man. All the shows are. Man, like, can you tell us, like, who's in the queue? You leak something?
Yeah, man.
For us?
We got one. I got one that's a surprise, and this isn't an athlete. And I know, like, people love the athletes. This isn't an athlete, but I got one that's a huge surprise, man. We have Deontay Wilder coming up. He has a big fight. So we went to Tuscaloosa, spent another long amount of time with him as well. We got some current guys that I'm gonna keep a little quiet. There is. I'll tell you guys this. There's a New Orleans Saint coming up soon.
All right.
That is something that we're getting done that I'm excited about as well. And something really dope, man. I don't know how people will react to it. We try to interview. We have Tamron Hall tomorrow. Host the Tamron Hall show, was obviously on the Today Show, and she was replaced with Megyn Kelly, who was fired shortly after that. And so it was a unique look into, like, kind of the broadcast world from that angle. And we brought her on the show because Channing's actually on her show on Monday, and Channing cried on the show like a big baby.
Oh, no way.
From what we hear. So we got some good dirt on that.
Okay. Wait, he cried on
her show.
On her show. Oh, so you all are recording it tomorrow, or it's dropping tomorrow?
It's dropping tomorrow. We did it this week.
Got it.
Yeah, we did it this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan Clark's with us on Twitter at RealRClark25. Our convos every Thursday are brought to you by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. All right, RC, LSU and Tennessee this weekend, 11 a.m. By the way, does 11 a.m. You did play some morning games during your time at LSU. Does the 11 a.m. thing actually matter as much as we talk about?
Yep, it's freaking miserable.
Okay.
Yep. And not in the sense of that you play badly. It doesn't mean you have to play bad, right? It is so off schedule for people that play at LSU, though, right? Because of the heat, especially early on in the season, because of the heat, when you're playing these non-conference games, which you can control the time they start, they always start at night. And a lot of times, if you're playing a big game early on in the season, they put it at nighttime. And so you've been on the same schedule weekly, whereas, like, you college kids, right? Like, I ain't Mike Moscona. I stayed up late every night in college.
Right.
Like, I just did, and it wasn't I did it on purpose. I was 20, I was 18, I was 17 at one point, so I just stayed up late every night. And so, but it was okay because I could go to sleep at midnight on Friday night and sleep in enough and have the whole day to kind of like nap, rest, do all these other things, get ready and be ready by 7. You can't do that when you play at 11. And even to the things to the simple things of, like Jordan, for instance. Jordan eats the same thing for pregame meal every day, right? He gets the spaghetti, right? Carbs up or whatever, but it's also now just becoming his regimen. Like, nobody wants to eat spaghetti at 8 o'clock.
Right.
And so all of these things are thrown off for people who normally play at a certain time. And so I do think that it matters and it makes a difference, not in the sense of like, oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock, it's early, I can't play, just in your preparation leading up to the game.
Well, both teams will have to deal with it, for sure. The bigger thing I think for LSU is going to be how in the world do they stop that passing offense? So, all right, you're a DB. You do as much film study as anybody that I know. How in the world do you stop an offense like that?
Well, first off, you can send their quarterback to the senior citizen home, and that might help.
Can we do that? Like, can we petition to have him just like taken to St. James Place or whatever?
Yeah, like what the heck, bro? Like, he graduated high school with me. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, LSU recruited me, him, and friggin' what's quarterback at Charles School's name? Played quarterback.
Major Applewhite. Yeah.
Yeah, it was me, Hunter, and Major Applewhite.
I was actually going to drop a Travis Minor reference, but I thought it might go over everybody's head.
Well, I was going to say Travis Minor too, but I figured everybody would miss it.
Mm-hmm.
But and so now I think, man, to have an experienced quarterback like that who's seen so much at different places, I think it's really helped him. I dove into the Florida game, right? Because, Corey Raymond and, some of those guys over there, I just wanted to see how they were able to be so successful. And what was crazy, Matt, more so than how potent their offensive system is and, how guys end up wide, stinking open, is how timely it is. Every time Florida made a push at them in that game, they came back and scored a touchdown. They came back and got a big play, whether it's tight end leaking down the sideline or they get the wheel route in the switch release from Stack and get somebody down the sideline. Again, it's like every time they needed to make a play, they made it. And then when you look at things that Hendon's able to do, getting outside, and he's not like this great runner. He's just a good runner, right? And he runs and he moves to pass. I think what they have, this looks like a team that could be the biggest threat to the Georgias, on the other side of the bracket, or on the other side of the conference, man. And I think it all starts with their quarterback, his ability to diagnose, also his ability to protect the football while making the big play.
RC, does LSU have the personnel? Well, let me back up first. So, what is the defensive plan against that defense?
Well,
against that offense.
Yeah, I think the first thing is having rush lanes that are very disciplined. Right? You don't want to give him extra time. So as you're putting pressure on, as you see Ojulari closing and these guys, they have to close on him without giving him escape routes to get outside the pocket and make plays. I think the other thing, if you look at this team, is they don't live on the big play, but they thrived on it this year. This is a team, no matter who they play, have found ways to create chunk yardage. And so if you are, in the middle of the field, if you are a corner that singled up an opportunity, you have to prevent the ball from going over top and make them earn it. Are they going to score points? Absolutely, because they score against everybody. But it's about making them take play after play after play to score, and in doing that, hopefully get them to make a mistake. Or you see one of those huge plays like we saw by Greg Brooks late in the game against Auburn.
Does LSU have the personnel that can slow that offense?
They do, but LSU has to score points.
How many?
I don't necessarily know, Matt, if it's how many or how and how consistent, right? In the sense of, now, if you pass the ball like they passed last game, that was very much like my stat line when I was 10 years old and I was starting quarterback of the Killer Bees and I wore number 20. Which was an excellent stat line when I played recreational ball.
But I'll bet your rushing stats were on point.
I went for like 200.
Of course. Yeah, nobody wanted. No 8-year-old wanted that smoke, man.
And so, it's about consistent drives, not having 3 and outs, not giving them short fields, being able to put drives together, take control of the clock. Some of those things that we don't necessarily always associate with offenses being successful, right? We look at the point total. Oh, you scored 40. Or you scored 50. That's not it. There's a way to score 30. There's a way to score 27, but control the game, control the clock, control the ball. Whether it's John Emery running the ball, whether it's finding ways to get the ball into our wide receivers' hands quickly so we get yards after the catch. They have to sustain drives. This can't be a punt fest for the LSU offense, because if it is, the Tennessee Volunteers can score points in bunches, and you can't win that way. No. This has to be a game where it's a team win, how they focus on stopping this offense or combating this offense, not just, okay, defense, go out and stop them, and then we'll see what happens.
All right, RC, last thing. How does LSU get the passing game going?
I want to be smarter than I am in this case, because it's like, hey, I come on here, Stoney, and I try to have answers. This is one of the more mind-boggling things to me, in the sense that when I look at the receiving staff and the skill players, I think to myself, well, how can't they throw it? How can't they create separation? The first thing I'll say is this: we are not creative in our route design. Right?
Wait, I'm sorry, your phone cut out. We're not creative in what?
I'm sorry. We're not creative in our route design.
Design, okay.
Right? Think about, Stoney, some of the things we associate with Sean Payton, the things with Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, all of these offensive guys who you sit around and you watch the game and you go, holy cow, Deebo Samuel is wide open. Mm-hmm. And you're like, Jimmy G sucks, but I can make that throw too. I want you to and I know you study it and you watch it so closely. Let's think about in the games against good football teams, right? Good defenses. Where has the easy throws been? Right? Where have the wide open players been? Right? The ones, and some of them we've seen, I agree, we've seen, and Jaden hasn't hit them. Right? Jaden hasn't gone to those guys right away. So he has to be better, 100%. He has to understand who in his progression has the best matchup or the best opportunity versus that defense to be open. So let me start there. But secondly, it's okay, if I'm coaching him, I go, the way this is set up, if we get this coverage, here's who's wide open. Right? I should have 3 or 4 plays a quarter where I can tell him when I'm signaling or whatever it is, look, Jay, when we go back out there, man, if we call this and we get cover 2, here's the guy. If we call this and we get man, here's the guy. And whether it's a rub route or some sort of pick, a stack route, just anything that we start being more creative and say, we can't rely on all these 4 and 5 stars to get open, because unfortunately they're also playing other 4 and 5 stars.
He's Ryan Clark. I got to go find Kelly Washington.
Hey, we need to Google him. He's got to be on a Twitter search or something.
I just looked him up on Twitter. I don't think he's there, but I'll find him. I'll find him. Believe me.
It's funny, man. I did Tennessee radio early on this week for Ramon Foster, who's the guy I played with.
Sure.
And they asked me the same question about it, and I told them the same exact thing. I don't think about it ever, to be truthful, until I'm asked this question. Even with LSU playing Tennessee, it wasn't my first thought. I didn't think about it really at all. But whenever I'm asked, it's the first thing I think about. And I think to myself, knowing myself now, I still wonder how I dealt with it so well. How I was so nice about it. I should have just punched him in his face, So, but you get older and you change.
No, but that's right. You get older and then you change. But 20-year-old RC, I'm surprised he didn't punch him in the first. 22-year-old RC.
Man, I guess man, when you won the SEC championship, you're not really thinking about much else.
Makes sense. You're the best, RC. Thank you.
My man, have a good one, bro.
All right, that is Ryan Clark, courtesy of DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. RC's with us every single Thursday here on AFR. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. You know where to find them. 29 offices across 11 different states. You can ship your equipment to them, or if it's more convenient for you, they can do on-site calibration. Maybe you have equipment that can't leave your facility. Michelli has got you covered. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. And Michelli is hiring, so you can always go to the website, hit the careers tab at the top. You can apply for a job in their New Orleans office, the Baton Rouge office, the Lake Charles office. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. ISO 17025 accredited laboratory. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. All right, quick break. We'll hurry to go around the SEC. We got Fantasy Blitz coming up as well. Jimmy Burrow in 25 minutes. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, thanks to RC for joining us. A little late, we got to get to Fantasy Blitz, so let's hustle. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Kentucky Wildcats.
Actually, Muse, I want to hit a little audible. Hit A&M, please, if you would.
The Texas A&M Aggies.
This is from Ian Fitzsimmons of ESPN. Just before we came on the air today, he tweeted, I'm told Texas A&M quarterback Max Johnson has a broken bone in his throwing hand. Sadly, he might be done for the season, at least for the foreseeable future. That would most certainly mean that this week when Texas A&M plays Alabama in Tuscaloosa, it will not be Max Johnson, but almost certainly will be Haynes King, and that ain't good.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Speaking of injured quarterbacks, keeping an eye on Will Levis, who's questionable for Saturday's game against South Carolina. That according to a report from Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio. Will Levis, remember he suffered the dislocated finger against Ole Miss. It was pretty gnarly looking. But apparently he's also been wearing a protective boot all week from a foot injury. He's a game-time decision against the Gamecocks. If Levis can't go, redshirt freshman Kaya Sharon will get the start. Sharon's made just one collegiate appearance earlier this year against Youngstown State. That line has dropped from 11 to 4.5, certainly indicating that Levis is not anticipated to play on Saturday in Columbia against the Wildcats.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Cedric Tillman, Tennessee's wide receiver, is continuing to work back from a high ankle sprain. His status for Saturday's game still unknown. Took a low shot against Akron about 3 weeks ago, has not seen the field since. He had the tightrope surgery. Josh Heupel said Tillman has returned to the field, but is limited, and they'll make a decision on Friday if Tillman can play Saturday against LSU. The overwhelming belief Tillman will be out against the Tigers.
The Florida Gators.
And safety Trey Dean is set to return to the field for the Gators. He missed the matchup Sunday against Eastern Washington with what they described a lower body injury. He's a senior defensive back. He led the team in total snaps through the first 4 weeks. In his absence, true freshman safety Kamari Wilson started for Dean. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them, gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com, with offices in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, the North Shore, and in Lafayette. They are never far from your business location, so they can get same-day service at the worst case next day at 10 a.m. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the Saints, the Pelicans, the LSU Tigers, and the ULL Ragin' Cajuns. Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, y'all, it is after further review. My apologies. We're going to move a little quickly here because we got to get to the Fantasy Blitz with Darin Tietgen. So, Week 5 of the NFL season starts tonight. Before you set your fantasy roster, check with the guys at whotostart.com. Darin Tietgen up next to give us personalized fantasy football advice. And then about 15 minutes, 16 minutes from right now, Jimmy Burrow will be here. You probably noticed it, or maybe you haven't noticed, but if you haven't, Joe Burrow has launched the Joe Burrow Foundation, which will impact communities in Ohio and Louisiana. So Jimmy Burrow, who is heavily involved, is going to join us in about 15 minutes from right now. So we'll talk Foundation, we'll talk Joey B. Looking forward to that coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. Quick break. Get your fantasy questions in. Our Fantasy Blitz is next.
AFR.
We got Gordon. We got it done. We always encourage you to do the same thing. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Man, over the past year or so, I've gotten to know Gordon, and a sincerely good dude that I am proud to have on our team now as well, and for us at AFR to be part of the Get Gordon team. Of course, if you need an attorney, get Gordon and get it done. You've seen how Gordon has impacted our communities with so many of the positive things that he's doing, from giveaways around the holidays. Right now, celebrating their 30 years in business, he's giving away 30 Visa gift cards. You can learn more at their website at getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. And, of course, the way that he supported college athletes as well through all the NIL deals with the G team, Kayshawn, Malik, Emory Jones, Harold Perkins, the entire LSU women's basketball team Of course, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, an official partner of us here on AFR. That's right. We got Gordon. We got it done. GetGordon.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.com.
Who the hell are you?
whotostart.com. The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the pittance?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whotostart.com on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 104.5ESPN.com.
All right, let's get it. Darin Tietgen joins us from whotostart.com to get you your personalized fantasy football advice. How are you, dude?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Man, we're doing fantastic. Let's jump right into it. Tonight's ball game, couple of bad offenses. Anything worth keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first game I think Jonathan Taylor's missed in college or in the NFL. He's kind of an Iron Man, but he's out tonight. So look for Nyheim Hines. Not much of a runner, but he catches the ball out of the backfield. So those of you in PPR leagues can move him up from a flex to kind of an RB2. Looks for Russell Wilson to kind of bounce back. I know he's only got 4 touchdowns in the first 4 weeks. I think he throws for multiple touchdowns this week. So look to get Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy into your lineups.
Any sleepers this week?
Yeah, we've got a few for you. At quarterback, we like Zach Wilson for the Jets. Should be a higher scoring game against the Dolphins. Should be a lot of throwing in that one. So Zach Wilson is a guy you could plug into your DFS lineups, or if you got an injured quarterback or something like that, you could plug him in. Running back A.J. Dillon, not necessarily a sleeper, but he's going to run wild against that Swiss cheese Giants run defense. And then finally at wide receiver, George Pickens with his rookie buddy Kenny Pickett at the helm for the Steelers. Look for an uptick in production from Pickens out of Pittsburgh.
All right, Darin Tietgen's with us. You know the drill. We get you personalized fantasy football advice. You can always get to the website, whotostart.com. It's a numeral 2, whotostart.com. Use the promo code ESPN to save 10%. Let's start out with one from Rusty, who said, I need 2 PPR league flex spot. He's got Deontay Johnson, Tyler Algier, or Khalil Herbert.
I think Montgomery's going to be out for the Bears again, so Herbert's a good play. And then Algier for the Falcons, not a great matchup against the Bucs, but I think I like him a little bit better than Deontay Johnson with a change at quarterback for Pittsburgh.
Let's see. Nathan Hodge, who to start? He's got Corey Davis or Brandon Ayuk. That's a flex spot this week. Who to start?
That's a tough one. You got those guys this week. I think Ayuk's probably the safer play, but if you're looking to roll the dice a little bit, Davis, like we said, with Wilson at quarterback, it should be a higher scoring game with a lot of throwing, so Davis might be your play there.
Brennan Thibodeau is asking about Josh Jacobs. Said it can be trusted. Can he be trusted as a starter here on out? Was last week a fluke?
I don't think last week was a fluke, but he's sure touching the ball a lot. So, right now you might want to trade him when his value is at its all-time high, or just keep riding him out and hopefully that he avoids the injury attempt.
Patrick Gerard, who to start? Kamara or he said the Raiders running back whose name escapes me right now.
Well, if that's Josh
Jacobs,
I'd
probably the aforementioned Josh Jacobs. Yes.
Yeah. Kamara, I don't think he's had double-digit fantasy points in any game this year. It is a good matchup, especially in PPR formats. Look for him to catch the ball out of the backfield, but I don't think he's down the end zone yet. It's tough to be a Kamara owner right now. I've got him in a couple of leagues, but I'm holding out hope for him. But right now, I'd probably play Jacobs over him.
Kamara's only played 2 of the 4 games so far this season. Dylan Atkinson said 1 point PPR. He needs 2. He's got A. Jones. He's got Miles Sanders. He's got Stevenson, Herbert, and Dobbins. Needs 2.
The first 2. So it sounds like those guys are probably going to touch the ball the most. Jones, love him out of the backfield catching the ball from Aaron Rodgers with no other real reliable pass targets for Rodgers. He's really been using Jones out of the backfield. So if you're in a PPR format, Jones is a nice play against the Giants. And then Sanders, kind of like Jacobs, he's been overused a little bit, but he's getting the job done right now. So I think he's your second play.
Let's see. Clark Dennis, we got less than a minute. He's got Waddle, Dubes, Cooper, and Jeudy. He needs 2 of those 4. Who to start?
Definitely go Waddle. You can't, even with Bridgewater at quarterback, I think Waddle's a good play. And then I'm going to go with Jeudy. I think he's going to put up some points tonight against Indianapolis.
10 seconds. Who to start in place of Amon-Ra if he's out again? He's got Reynolds or Brian Robinson?
I would go with Reynolds. He'll get the targets if Amon-Ra is out.
He is Darin Tietgen, whotostart.com. It's the numeral 2. Go to whotostart.com. Use the promo code ESPN. Save 10%. Thanks, D. We appreciate it, man. Enjoy the football.
Thanks. You too.
All right, man. We'll check in next week. Here comes Sports Center. Then we're talking with Jimmy Burrow. Stick around.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, GMFSmortgage.com. Check them out right there. Look, I know a week ago or so, the Fed bumped up interest rates. Many of you probably saw that. And so you might be thinking, well, it's not a great time to buy. I would actually argue to the contrary, because interest rates are likely going to continue to rise. So it's a good idea to lock in that rate now. And then invariably, rates will fall, and then you can refi with GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com. They always say, we want to be your lender for life. And they mean it. They are that for me, and they can be for you as well. The number one lender in Louisiana, number 11 in USDA loans in the country. It's GMFS Mortgage. No matter where you are in the state of Louisiana, find a lender near you. GMFSmortgage.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Broncos and Colts in Denver tonight as Week 5 begins in the NFL. Quarterbacks with new teams. Russell Wilson for the Broncos, Matt Ryan with the Colts, both struggling through their first 4 games. ESPN's Field Yates reports Patriots quarterback Brian Hoyer goes on IR with a concussion. If Mac Jones can't play Sunday against the Lions, rookie Bailey Zappi gets the start. Meanwhile, Lions running back DeAndre Swift is likely out. It would be the second straight game he'll miss with shoulder and ankle injuries. The baseball playoffs start tomorrow with 12 teams in the field and a 2 out of 3 wild card weekend. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred.
I think that the new format is going to be a tremendous kickoff to what could be one of our best postseasons ever. We think the broader format keeps more fans engaged in the postseason, and hopefully they'll stay with us the whole way through.
Rob Manfred on Get Up. Every game of baseball's postseason is on ESPN Radio. Every game of Wild Card Weekend on ESPN, ESPN2, or ABC.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
I just don't want Mitchell Trubisky on our team.
I
don't know what it is. This is personal for me. It's fine. I'm allowed to have feelings and emotions.
It's Friday with Key, J, and Max. It all starts at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
All right, hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt. I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We'll talk to Jayson Swain, former Tennessee wide receiver, coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. You probably noticed earlier this week, big announcement from former LSU quarterback Joe Burrow that he has launched the Joe Burrow Foundation. It's going to do a lot of good for families in Ohio and in Louisiana. And the vice president of the Burrow Foundation is Coach Jimmy Burrow, who's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Coach, it's a pleasure. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
It is. It's absolutely our pleasure. I think most people will probably recognize the genesis of the idea, with Joe mentioning underprivileged families in Ohio and the outpouring of support to the Athens Food Bank. When did the idea of the foundation or the organization of the foundation really start to materialize?
I think after maybe his first year at with the Bengals. He was injured, so he had a lot of time to think about it. He had realized after the Heisman speech that he had a huge platform that he could do some additional good. There's $1.8 million now in the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund, which is different than what we're doing, but that was a result of 31 seconds of the Heisman speech. Wow. So he was thinking about it, just looking for the right time, and then about really after the Super Bowl last year, we got together as a family and started working on it, hired an executive director and kind of put the pieces together, and didn't have a for sure timeline, but came maybe a little sooner than we thought. And Joe's, his quote is, everybody should want to do something good. And in his mind, this is something good. So we're excited about it.
If you go to the website, which is just joeburrow.org, and you hit mission, it's about 10 words: to provide resources and support to the underprivileged and underserved. So what will the Burrow Foundation, what will the Joe Burrow Foundation do?
Well, you're right. That's pretty simple. It's general. We'll probably get into more specifics later, but I'll give an example. The first thing that's related to mental health. It's very expensive for families to afford mental health help for their children, and we're going to pay like 20 families in the Cincinnati area. We're going to pay their medical bills. They're struggling to do that, and so we're going to pick out things like that to target, and that's probably our first order of business here in the next few weeks. And we'll have a advisory board here in Ohio, which we do. That's helping us kind of figure out where and what needs the families have in this area. We Peter Wright there, who's one of Joe's financial advisors, the main financial advisor for Joe in Baton Rouge from Lord Murray, is on our board, and he's got a unbelievable advisory board that he's he's put together down there in Baton Rouge. So specifically, things will start to happen now that we got it launched. There'll eventually be some meetings to really zero in on areas and different families.
Jimmy, is it ever? I'm sure you have pinch me moments when you think about how interconnected your family is to Louisiana, and this is a forever thing.
Well, that's right, and some of the people in Ohio they say, well, why? You would think everybody knows, but why Baton Rouge? Joe's now with the Bengals. He's from Ohio. He calls Athens his home, and I made some comments yesterday to different stations and TV stations and radio that really this foundation and what Joe's all about would never have been made possible if not for LSU football and Coach Orgeron and LSU fans in general and his teammates there. So, Athens is his home, but Baton Rouge we consider home also, and now Cincinnati. So, he wants to give back. And as I said, nothing would have been possible without that LSU experience.
JoeBurrow.org is where you can go to learn more about the Joe Burrow Foundation. You can donate there as well. It's simple, JoeBurrow.org. Jimmy Burrow is our guest here for a couple more minutes. I was watching Thursday Night Football last week, and we got to see that Steve Ensminger was there. The broadcast mentioned that he was a guest of you and the family. How close do you in touch do you keep there with Slinger and some of the LSU folks?
Well, we can text every now and then. Derek Panamsky was also there. We communicate with him quite a bit, Coach O, every now and then. So, people want to stay in touch with us and vice versa. It was great. We had Coach Ensminger at our tailgate, and he was sitting there all relaxed, and he said, "I didn't realize what was going on at these tailgates." And I said, "Yeah, they're pretty cool, aren't they?" So he had a good time, and but again, our connections to LSU are forever, everlasting. We've already had texts from Scott Woodward there in LSU, congratulating us on the foundation. So we stay in touch. I was back for the Garth Brooks concert, my wife and I, which was awesome, and we hope to get back down there as much as possible.
Very cool. It was I think Garth Brooks' concert, Tiger Stadium, was as full as it had been since obviously the 2019 season. I don't think it had been that full. You had the COVID year, and boy, it was a good time though. Do you miss coaching?
I do. I miss the competition on Saturdays. I miss the interaction with the staff, with the coaching staff, with the players. And that's probably always going to happen when you do it as long as I did. You just can really never probably totally say I'm done with it. I don't miss it, but I'm glad I retired. Of course, I experienced that 2019 season. Have really no inclinations to get back in it, just because once again, if I did, I couldn't go to these Sundays game. We went to 21 games last year. Joe didn't play the last game of the regular season against the Browns, so we didn't go, but we plan on going to all of them, and I think there's a pretty big one coming up in another week down around your area too, so we'll be there.
Jimmy, as I look, I've talked about this a bunch. As a lifelong Saints fan, I was hoping that this was going to be the London game because I'm terrified of the thought of 20,000 LSU fans in their Burrow and Chase jerseys going to make it a Bengals home game.
Well, I can't wait to see on Bourbon Street all the number 9s and the number 1s. And Drew Brees will still have his fair share of number 9s, but there'll be more Bengal 9s than LSU 9s and Jamar's. Of course, Jamar, I can't imagine how many family and friends he's going to have being from that area, but we definitely hang out with Jamar's parents, and we're going to hook up with them down there also.
There was the picture of you and Jamar's dad smoking a cigar out of the tailgate. How did that all come about?
Well, we like to get together. It's kind of a tradition before, and we had seen each other before, but this was afterwards, and he was at our initial pregame tailgate, kind of started back again after the game, after we beat the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. And Jimmy Chase, I think he smokes cigars fairly regularly. I don't, just occasionally. And so, you know, I'm a little later than him getting to our tailgate, and we got there, and he immediately handed me a cigar, and two pretty proud dads at that point, going to the Super Bowl. Jamar's first year, Joe's second, and I think, I'm not sure who snapped that picture, but you know, we actually have it. Jimmy blew it up and gave me a copy of it. It's in our suite at the Bengals game. So
cool.
you know, we love it. I think some people have actually reached out about cigar sponsorships for us. So I don't know what's the latest with that. Jimmy might go for it. I'm not sure I will.
We do our post game show for LSU games at a cigar bar in Baton Rouge. So if you're around, if you and Jimmy Chase are interested, we can make something happen for sure. No, go ahead, please.
Well, it's fun to have that relationship that we started at LSU, and it's just amazing the bond that we've developed with Jamar, Joe and Jamar and his family. It's pretty cool.
Two more things, one football related, one foundation related. The foundation question. If people want to donate, obviously they can go to the website, but what is there a goal? Is there a financial goal initially, early? Like, if people want to help, what is the aim here, at least initially?
There's really not a goal. I mean, for example, there's already somebody posted a number 9 for $9, and we started getting a lot of hits on $9 in a donation yesterday. I think as of this morning we were 25 to 30,000. So Joe's going to donate a considerable amount. Some of his sponsors will donate money. So it's just a collection of funds and donations that we're going to use as resources, and to give opportunities to the underserved, underprivileged, as our mission statement says, and children's mental health and food insecurity. So no goals, just the goal to help as many families as we can and to raise as much money as we can.
Last thing, have you given yourself time to think about what the last 3 years, give or take, have been like for you and your family? Like, can you even start to kind of conceptualize all this?
Every now and then I see a game maybe pops up from LSU on the TV on the SEC network or ESPN, and then somebody will post something on the internet about all the great things that happened that year, and so you relive it as much as you possibly can. You never get tired of it. It's and I coached a lot of places, saw a lot of great teams, and that's of course I'm biased, but that's the greatest football team that's been up until this point. Maybe there'll be another one, but just look at all the NFL stars, and I know people will make an argument, but I don't think there really is one. I still pull up every now and again your rant or whatever about all the different things that LSU. I saved that, by the way. That's one of my classics. And
I love it.
But just all the characters on that team, and I mean it's just unbelievable. 4 or 5 of the top stars now in the NFL were on that team, so it's pretty cool. But I do have to pinch myself sometimes to just think about how that all transpired, and it's an amazing story.
I'll send you another one you probably haven't heard that I think you'll enjoy as well. When I debated the LSU 2019 against 2001 Miami Hurricane team, and I think you'll enjoy it. I'll send you a link.
All right, I like. Since I'm retired now, I got the foundation to help me out. I go to the games, but I do have a lot of idle time, so that'll give me something to look forward to.
I'll happily do it. JoeBurrow.org for the Joe Burrow Foundation. He's Coach Jimmy Burrow. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Go Bengals and go Tigers.
Yes, indeed. That is Jimmy Burrow. It's after further review. Quick break. Jayson Swain is going to join us next. We'll talk a little LSU-Tennessee. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital. You know where to find them. Locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. The Mid-City location there on Florida, the Bluebonnet campus right there, right across from the mall on Bluebonnet. Of course, the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. I mention it often, but it's worth repeating again. The Ascension Neighborhood Hospital has an emergency room, which means that Ascension Parish, for the first time, has its own emergency care. You don't have to go into East Baton Rouge Parish. It's right there in Ascension at the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. Of course, all the Express Care locations. Hey, if you're going to be out on LSU's campus this weekend, remember the Express Care locations. There's 2 on either end of LSU's campus. So if on game day with a lot of people around, if you find yourself in need of medical help or a doctor, direct on Nicholson, directly across from Tiger Stadium next to Torchy's, and on Highland just through the south gates of LSU. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
3 people walk into a bar. The first 2 order the same old marks. The third, Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and a crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. The Tigers are on the hunt. Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
Well, you're going to hear it enough on Saturday. You might as well just get accustomed to it now. All right, Jayson Swain, one of our favorites. He joins us now on the show to preview the Vols. Old VFL, a guy who had a really up-close view of Jamarcus flying through the air in 2006 toward the pylon. Where were you when Early Doucette had the game-winning catch, Swain?
Listen, man. I come on 3 seconds to the interview, and you already starting this. You already starting it. Jamarcus Russell, he fumbled. The refs were blind that day. He fumbled.
Swain, you're the freaking best. He's the co-host of Josh and Swain with Josh Ward on the Sports Animal up in Knoxville. All right, Swain, let's first of all, what's the mood like in Knoxville, considering it's a program, let's just be honest here, haven't had a 10-win season in more than a decade, and now you're ranked in the top 10. So what's the vibe around there, man?
Man, very, very optimistic. Hendon Hooker has really given, I think, our fan base a sense of calmness, confidence, how he has been able to play, taking care of the football. He's been an awesome leader. Josh Heupel, arguably the best offensive mind in college football. I think there's a lot of confidence in those two guys. This team is playing their butts off. Obviously, defensively, not where you want to be. I think the fans see that, but for the first time in a long time, Matt, I think fans are very, very excited and calm and relaxed and optimistic about Tennessee and the football season. It's been a minute.
Look, man, I mean it's fair. I mean, look, and you were there during the last great era of Tennessee football, and it certainly feels like what is ahead now is certainly prove it time for Tennessee, and it starts on Saturday morning in Baton Rouge. All right, Swain, how much does the bye week help or hurt Tennessee coming into this week?
I've said it all week. You can look at it really both ways because offensively, this team did a really good job versus Florida. Didn't punt one time. Florida could not stop Tennessee, and you were on fire. In the Pitt game, Tennessee's offense was really sluggish. Didn't look great, and it was a defense that helped Tennessee win that game against Pittsburgh. Against Florida, offense was flowing and going, and I thought that's why Bill Napier was so aggressive and went forward as much as he did on fourth down, because he knew his defense couldn't stop Tennessee. So you can look at that and say, well, let's keep playing. Why put cold water on a fire? And I feel like Tennessee's offense was on fire. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is you had Tillman banged up from the Akron game. Hendon Hooker landed on his shoulder, took a hard shot against Florida, played. There were some guys beat up in that game, so you are able to rest. That's the other way to look at it. And so we'll see which way is going to, I think, play out for Tennessee. Will Tennessee come out and be a little cold offensively like they were against Pittsburgh, or will they pick up where they left off against Florida and be even more rested?
All right, you played. Let me ask you, would you rather the week off, or would you rather, and look, you're an offensive guy, you're a receiver, would you rather kept rolling?
It depends on how I feel. I mean, health-wise. If I'm healthy and I'm feeling good, I want to play. If I'm a guy that, got hurt, I did my senior year. I had a ankle sprain against Georgia, had a bye week, and then played Alabama. So I love that bye week. But it just really depends on the health of the team and the health of your star players.
If I'm assuming, Swain, you tell me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming Cedric Tillman's not going to play on Saturday. If he doesn't, how much does that impact the offense?
We saw against Florida, it didn't really impact the offense that much because Brew McCoy stepped up. He had a 100-yard game. Ramel Keaton had his best game of his career. Jalen Hyatt, slot, had some crucial third down plays. Hendon Hooker had 100 yards on the ground. Tight ends made a couple plays. Like, Heupel did a great job of drawing plays up and getting guys open. Jacob Warren catches a splash play on the sideline on the wheel route, tight end, and it just seems like without Tillman, it was all good offensively, and that was something that I think fans were worried about going into the Florida game. But that game alone just, I think, made people feel a whole lot better about life without Tillman. Now, LSU's defense, I think, is better than Florida. You're playing on the road in a hostile environment, so there's different conditions and different challenges.
He's on Twitter at Swain Event. Y'all give him a follow. Former Tennessee wide receiver Jayson Swain, co-host of Josh and Swain on the Sports Animal there in Knoxville. So you mentioned the offense being sluggish against Pitt. And I watched that game, but you still look down and you go, they put up 400 yards and 34 points. So if there is a recipe or a blueprint to slow the Tennessee offense, when that happens, what will the defense have to do to slow Tennessee offensively?
I think winning on first down is, paramount, because the tempo really gets going after they pick up a successful first down play where it's 5 or more yards, you get up to the line of scrimmage, and then boom, you can run or pass 2nd and 5. The moment that Tennessee gets their first down in a drive, it's off to the races. So if you can force Tennessee to have an unsuccessful play on first down, and now it's 2nd and 10, or now it's 3rd and long, and you can get pressure, that's probably it, Matt, because I've seen the tempo wear down defenses time and time again where, defensive front maybe from a talent standpoint is better than Tennessee's offensive line, but when the ball goes to the right on one play, and then goes to the left one play, then we come up the middle, and all these plays are ran within 20 seconds of each other. So you got the 3rd fastest offense in the country, and they haven't really went as fast as they could be going right now. So it's just really, really hard to defend, but I think winning on first down is the best bet.
Hey, do you like the smoky gray uniforms?
Yeah, I love them. I love the detail. I love the detail in the helmet and the pants. I like them better than I like the dark mode uniforms that Tennessee wore last year versus South Carolina. I'm a big fan of them.
All right. I don't know, man. I think Tennessee's got such a clean, traditional look, man. I'm just a big believer, man. If you got a traditional, clean look, why you stray from it, man? I don't know. I kind of was looking forward to seeing, Power T, orange and white, like Tennessee in Tiger Stadium, man. It's going to look weird.
No, I get it. I think, the rivalry games against Florida and Georgia and Alabama, Tennessee's going to wear those traditional colors. But some of the other games, recruits like the uniforms being alternate and the players like it. I prefer orange and white. I want to see the purple LSU uniform, man. That thing is sweet.
Nah.
And you guys only wear it once a year. What's up with that?
The purple jersey's fine if you're wearing white helmets, white pants. But the purple gold is gaudy and ugly, and I don't want to see that.
I agree. I love the white helmet.
Thank you, Swain. But white is not a primary color for LSU, so I don't need to see white helmets. What they do is what LSU does is great. The white jersey at home, it's their tradition. I love it. It's perfect.
Okay.
All right. So Tennessee's defense stinks. All right, let's be honest. Do they have a chance of slowing, or does LSU, if you're an LSU fan, this is one of those things where you're looking, all right, LSU's pass offense hadn't been good. Tennessee's defense is like literally one of the worst in the country. So something has to give here. Which do you think it is on Saturday?
I think Tennessee's defense get a really, really bad rap, probably more than they deserve, because you got to think about how many situations that the offense put them in. So, like, if Tennessee's offense goes 3 and out, we're talking like 45-second drive, Right. And like a couple of those, man, the defense, they get winded, and the offense puts them in a really bad spot when they don't get the job done. Now, if offense is putting up points and getting out to a lead, now the defense can pin their ears back and rush the passer, and it's all good. But, like, I think Tennessee's defense is better than what people see with the numbers. But against Florida had the best passing game of the season. And Anthony Richardson came into that game not throwing a touchdown, and he left with several. So, Yeah, I mean, Tennessee doesn't have the personnel, I think, to play man-to-man on the outside and press guys up. It's going to have to be a soft zone, and they want to get to the quarterback before the quarterback hits those receivers in the soft zone. So something's going to give on Saturday. I think LSU's receivers will be the most talented group of receivers that Tennessee has faced. You've got Jalen Daniels, who is tough to defend because he's dual threat. All dual threat quarterbacks are tough to defend. Can he trust his receivers? Can he trust what he sees and throw it in windows? I mean, that's going to be the question. But if he's able to do that, I think it's going to give Tennessee some issues on defense.
When Robert Meacham scored to go up 24-21, like, were you just convinced y'all had it in 06?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't trust referees then, and I don't trust them now, and that's probably a good thing. That's probably what will happen. Probably what happened, man. You know what? I love you, man. I love the food down there. Y'all got the best accents down there, man. Y'all just so cool down there. I wish I was coming, man. I really want to see you, man.
I offer for you to stay at my house, brother. Like, you can come stay with me. Bring your whole family. If you want to jump in the car, the Swain mobile, and bring everybody down, y'all come stay with me, man. I'd love to have you.
One day.
Hey, all right. LSU special teams have been objectively very bad this year. Vegas has this as a field goal game, so it could come down to something like special teams. Okay, how is Tennessee on special teams?
Well, I mean, LSU had to drop punts early in the season. Well, Tennessee had a drop punt early in the season, too, against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh was able to block a punt, which is why that game was so close. It never should have been. So both special teams have had some ugly moments so far early in the season, and that, if I'm LSU, I'm looking at that as an opportunity to win this game. I mean, Florida recovered an onside kick, and it was easy. It was like drawing it up in practice. No one was touched, no resistance. So Tennessee special teams, which was awesome last year, has taken a step back early this season. Now, the bye week did occur, so I'm pretty sure Mike Eckler and the crew worked really, really hard to fix those holes in the special teams game. But I think it's a toss-up between Tennessee and LSU, honestly, in that phase.
All right, Swain, before you go, do you think Tennessee comes into Baton Rouge and leaves with a win?
I think so. Tennessee is a team that practices in the morning. They're used to going early, and I think it's going to benefit Tennessee in a huge way. Josh Heupel's the demeanor, and he doesn't allow these guys to be shaken and rattled. I think his playing experience as a quarterback at Oklahoma has really rubbed off on these guys. They won't be rattled, I don't think, by the crowd noise at all. I think Tennessee is a better football team here, and I think they'll win.
He is on Twitter at Swain Event, co-host of Josh and Swain on the Sports Animal weekdays in Knoxville. You're the best, Swain. We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. See you boys some beignets or something.
I might do that. I'm surprised you didn't mention 05. I mean, you had the open door to do it a half dozen times, but, you know.
Hey, leave me alone, man. I'm leaving. Bye.
I'll see you, man. Nobody don't get me. Don't say y'all won in 05. Did he hang up? He hung up. I mean, he could have mentioned 05. He was on the 05 team that came in here and won on Monday. He just let me jab him in the nose over and over again. He never just retorted back. I went on his show earlier this week, Muse. You know what he said to me? I came out the gates just like flamethrower. 2000, 01 SEC championship, 06 early Doucette, 07 Xenon, 2010. We all know what Eddie O got you in the rain in 20. Said just flamethrowing on his show. You know what he said to me?
What's that?
Hey, man. What about Tony Vitello, retired Paul Maneri? I'm like, did you really just come with a weak baseball retort? Like, was that your smack talk? For a team that didn't even make it to Omaha this year.
Yeah, I mean, and when they did, they went 2-Q.
Swain. That's my guy. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. Saints injury report. We'll get you an update. We usually have Tigers in the pros. What to watch to start hour number 3. Mike Triplett here in about 45 minutes. Glad you're aboard. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Okay, so it is an early kick on Saturday in Tiger Stadium. So when the game ends, it'll be mid-afternoon. Get by Clegg's then. Or go today, go tonight, go tomorrow. Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. They got great fall decor. Pumpkins, hay bales, squash, gourds, scarecrows, witches. You want to decorate for Halloween or just for fall in general, they've got all of your fall decor. And now the fall flowers are arriving daily. So if you want to add that pop of fall color to your flower bed, to the patio pots, I told you Erica always goes and she'll replace the dippledinas that she plants for the summer. She'll replace them with all the fall flowers for this time of year until we get toward the Christmas season. It's a great time to get by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you. Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Did Twanny go 3 for 5?
No, we just hadn't played it in a while, so I thought it would fit.
Antoine, when we do Tigers in the Pros, Antoine Duplantis was playing for the who?
The Brooklyn Cyclones.
The Brooklyn Cyclones. And so whenever Muso there would have an Antoine Duplantis update, he would play Cyclone here. It's a great jam. I believe this is the song that you would play when I would stand up and dance, and then was it Reggie?
Yeah, it was Reggie.
Reggie Chapman would clip it and tweet it and all that good stuff. Hey, remember when the Rams were playing the Niners on Monday?
I do remember that, yeah.
And remember when that moron ran out onto the field with the pink smoke and then Bobby Wagner just absolutely obliterated him?
I do remember that.
Well, that moron is pressing charges against Bobby Wagner. What a moron. It's so stupid. They don't say this guy's name, but apparently, this is according to TMZ Sports, the individual is an activist for the Berkeley, California-based animal rights group. I'm not even going to tell you the name of the animal rights group because that's giving them way more attention than they need or deserve. Anyway, the moron filed a let's see. He did file a police report. Any other notes here on it? No. Santa Clara Police Department Lieutenant Quang Fan has confirmed that the police report was filed. And Bobby Wagner said, yeah, there's consequences for your actions. Good on you, Bobby Wagner. And I would kind of like to see this go to court, and then maybe like Bobby Wagner could Terry Crews this moron again in court. That would be awesome to see. Good on you, Bobby Wagner. Like, literally everyone supports you except the dopes like this that run on the fields and don't realize there's consequences to their actions. All right, it's after further review. Of course, by the way, that was Rams-Niners. The Otter hit on Monday. Gave you the Niners. Cash that ticket. We will have Otter locks coming up in hour number 3. I think Otter's out. He said his son, Ethan's got a game tonight. So Hanny's doing the show. But Otter did tell me he's going to send me the pick. So we will have the pick for you.
Like Otter locks minus Otter.
Well...
Otter locks via text.
Yeah, but it's still his lock. It's still the Otter lock. And he has been in fuego on NFL.
It's been good. This way we don't have to worry about a Charlie Brown phone.
No doubt.
Yeah,
there are pros here to this. So anyway, we will get you the pick, and if you want to place that bet, you can do so at the DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Bet just $5 on any football game. If your team wins, they'll give you $200 in free bets, but you got to use the promo code Baton Rouge. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, use the promo code Baton Rouge, bet just $5 on any football game. They'll give you $200 in free bets if your team wins. Also, if you're a returning customer, stepped up same-game parlays all season long. You can make one same-game parlay stepped up every game day all season long, even if you're a return customer, but you got to use the promo code Baton Rouge at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-7-0-STOP. All right, it is after further review. The Saints injury report is out. We kind of went over this a little bit at the very beginning of the show, but let me reset it for those that may not have been here. And it's not it's certainly not good news with respect to the two players on the list that everyone is most interested in, and that would be Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston. Again, for the second consecutive day, they did not practice as stated on the injury report. So those that did not practice on Thursday were Calvin Throckmorton, Peyton Turner, Michael Thomas, Jameis Winston, and P.J. Williams. Those are the 5 that did not practice on Wednesday. None practiced on Thursday. The good news for 3 players that were limited on Wednesday but were full on Thursday. Ryan Ramczyk, who had a rest day. Andrews Pete was full participant, as was Taysom Hill. So that's great news. Obviously, you need Taysom in this offense. But the Pete news is significant because Throckmorton remains out. So when Pete was out with his concussion and missed the game last week, Calvin Throckmorton started in his place. Well, now Throckmorton is out with a hip injury, has not practiced yet this week, but you're getting Andres Pete back, which is really good news. The others that were listed on the injury report as limited were Marcus May, Alvin Kamara, and Jarvis Landry. All participated, but in a limited capacity. Carl Granderson was a full participant. So Saints are, there are notable players that are absent. And when you get to this point in the week with Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston, I think we probably all would roundly understand that Jameis Winston is unlikely to play this week. The hope would be you could get Michael Thomas back with the foot injury, but It certainly doesn't appear that way as of right now. If neither practices on Friday, it's a near impossibility to think that they would be ready to go on Sunday, but remains to be seen. So the good news, Ramchick's full. Andres Pete was back, full participant. Let's see if they can get some of these offensive weapons raring to go for Sunday's game in the Dome, noon Central against Seattle. All right. Music's going to have Tigers in the pros when we come back to wrap up hour number 2. Coming up after the top of the hour, we'll get to what to watch for this coming football weekend. Also, Mike Triplett in 30 minutes from right now. So we'll go deep dive into the Saints as they prepare to hopefully get back on in the win column Sunday in the Dome against the Seahawks. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Stay here, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. I always love sharing great testimonials. This 5-star review came in a week ago from Sharda Green. She said, Cody was extremely knowledgeable and very kind. He informed me about my system on the 1-year checkup and answered all my questions. Great job. I highly recommend and ask for Cody. Cody, one of the many experienced, expertly trained, friendly, knowledgeable technicians at River City's 1 Hour Air. You never have to worry about who's coming into your home. Whenever a River City's 1 Hour Air tech is on the way, you get a call, a text, and an email alerting you the tech is on their way, and you will also get the name, picture, and reviews of that technician who's coming to your house. That's service. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, whether always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
As a community bank, B1 Bank invests in relationships with the people and businesses we proudly represent. Our B1 bankers are here to help simplify the complicated, understand your needs, and make managing your finances easier. At B1 Bank, we offer an array of solutions to help simplify your transaction needs. B1 Bank, one highly personal banking experience. Visit us online at b1bank.com for more information.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Remember, you can always text the show here in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Buddy Gerald Mathern said, Matt, can you give us the backstory on why Muso's song is Barbie Girl, LOL. Sure. Whenever we started the show and we were going to do the drops and go around the room, I said, guys, pick whatever you want. I don't care. And Muso there said, I don't care. And I said, fine, Barbie Girl by Aqua. And he said, no. I said, nope, you're stuck with it. Sorry. And so now we're stuck with it.
It's worked out all right, though. It's worked out okay.
Yes, it has. Sometimes you got to trust your boy. And
maybe. Yeah, we'll see. And I think it depends.
And Muso's a big fan of Aqua.
No.
Tigers in the pros. Huge fan of Aqua.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
I didn't even name you another Aqua song outside of Barbie Girl.
Huge fan.
No.
He's got the poster in his room. Liar.
Alrighty, so 5 former LSU baseball Tigers will participate in the 2022 MLB playoffs. Those get underway tomorrow. Count them up. 5. You have Aaron Nola of the Philadelphia Phillies making his first appearance in the MLB postseason. Not long overdue, but that's because the Phillies stink.
Trade him, you bums.
Agreed.
Do the right thing.
Guys who are no stranger to the postseason, well, that'd be Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros and then DJ LeMahieu of the New York Yankees. No, neither of them went there.
Well,
Kevin Gausman, this time of the Toronto Blue Jays, will make his second straight appearance in the playoffs, of course, last year with the Giants. And then Aaron's brother, Austin, will be... Yes, will be there with the San Diego Padres. Best of luck to all of those guys. Hope DJ gets a hit in every at-bat, and the Yankees get swept.
Hey,
baseball last night.
Your editorials are not welcome here. Keep that nonsense to yourself.
Look, baseball last night, the final day of the regular season, Josh Smith and the Texas Rangers. Smith went 1 for 3 in the game last night, the season finale, with a single and drew a walk as well. So a lot of good experience for Josh Smith in his first year in the bigs. And then Alex Bregman last night with the Houston Astros went 1 for 3 in that game. Also drew a walk, as we just told you he'll continue. Of course, you have Thursday Night Football tonight. Also tonight, you have plenty of preseason NBA basketball that will feature Tigers. The Brooklyn Nets will be in action, so Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas in that one. Portland Trailblazers, you could see some Trendon Watford in that game. And, of course, the Timberwolves, so Naz Reid, he'll be in action there. So 3 games featuring former Tigers in the NBA preseason tonight as well. Jam-packed slate. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. That's lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you're thinking of popping the question, nobody has a better selection of fine diamonds than Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Sure to thrill her, make her and her friends, make you the hero, I should say, with her and her friends. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, corporate and Bocage, in the Mall of Louisiana. 9 locations in all. You can check them out at lmfj.com. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Josh Pearson homered out at the box there, Muse. But that little
first of many
351-foot blast out there. It's fall ball time. Muse is all excited. Got freaking Hunt sitting out there at fall baseball practice right in the middle of a weekend where LSU's welcoming in a top 10 football team.
Well, yeah. Well, dumb. Where do you think I'm going to be Sunday?
I'm watching the NFL, watching the New Orleans Saints play football and other National Football League teams during the football season.
The Saints are a tough watch right now.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
It doesn't. This is what we do. This is the lot. This is the profession you chose in life. You don't watch practice baseball during the fall.
No, I do.
It's after further review. Stay here.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or ReliefWindows.com. Experience, quality, service. That's what you always get at Relief Windows. Again, experience. More than a decade in business here in the greater Baton Rouge area. Actually pushing closer to 2 decades now. Quality. At Relief Windows, they'll always install the highest quality products like their Geldwin wood windows and the service. My goodness. That's just what they do. Brandon Holly says it all the time. That's the thing that he can absolutely control, is the service that he and every member of the Relief Windows team provides to you. And they will never, ever, ever take a dollar from you until the work is done and you are thrilled with the job they've done. That's Relief Windows. Experience, quality, and service. It's Relief Windows. Check out the new showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shop a style.
Oh, yeah! This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Week 5 in the NFL kicks off tonight with the Broncos hosting the Colts at Mile High. ESPN's Dan Graziano says the Broncos haven't been able to count on their running game while new quarterback Russell Wilson settles in.
They can't really rely on that in the short term while they get everything put together. And
Yeah, I think when you trade for Russell Wilson and you sign him to a high-end quarterback contract, you expect you're getting someone who will elevate the group around him.
Dan Graziano on Get Up. The New York Giants are planning to sign veteran linebacker Landon Collins to the practice squad. He played the last 3 years for the Commanders. ESPN's Pete Thamel reports Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers is expected to start against Oklahoma Saturday. Ewers has been out for almost a month with a shoulder injury. Brazil is the top-ranked team leading into the World Cup. In the new FIFA rankings, Belgium is still second, followed by Argentina and France. The U.S. is 16th. Argentina's Lionel Messi says this World Cup will be his last.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. He's a big Aqua fan. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Mike Triplett in 13 minutes from right now. We will talk some Saints. If you missed it last hour, Jayson Swain was here. We previewed LSU-Tennessee. Swain, of course, former Vol receiver, does radio up in Knoxville. Awesome dude. We always appreciate his perspective. Jimmy Burrow, Coach Jimmy Burrow was with us last hour as well. Joe Burrow Foundation has launched. It was big news around the NFL this week. We talked a lot about that, about the Burrow family, what life is like right now. So if you missed that, you can catch it all on demand. Of course, AFR on demand, presented by Brett Golf. Hey, real quick. And Ryan Clark was here in hour 1. I thought RC did a great job of breaking down defensively how you slow Tennessee's offense and offensively how LSU can kind of get going. If you missed that, check it out. That's all on demand, presented by Brett Golf. Book your tee time, golf.brett.org. If you missed it yesterday, so T-Bob and I, we do Scone and Tea on Wednesday nights at Oliver Twist, 7 p.m. If you can't be there, you can always watch live on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube or Facebook channel. We started the podcast yesterday with sort of an oral history recollection of the 2010 game. And LSU-Tennessee 2010, as everyone sort of knows, is sort of infamous for the way that it ended, with Tennessee having 13 defenders on the field after LSU had a running clock, and we all saw we remember what happened, right? Just a weird scenario to end the game. Well, I started the pod and I didn't prep T-Bob on it at all. I said I want to start just with talking about that game, and everyone has seen sort of the clips, right, of Jordan Jefferson on second down taking the snap and running around right end and getting stopped short. And then the chaos, the maddening chaos that ensues subsequent with LSU trying to run players on, Tennessee running players on and off. Derek Dooley doesn't know what's happening. Apparently LSU didn't either. And it just led to T-Bob ultimately just snapping the football and thinking the game was over. Well, we spent about 20 minutes going through not just that play, the sequence, everything that transpired, what the players were talking about, what the coaches were talking about, really just memories throughout the game as well, something I didn't even realize. T-Bob wasn't playing center that whole game. He was playing guard. P.J. Lonergan got hurt in that drive where LSU scored. It was like an 18-play drive. I mean, they ate up like 5.5 minutes, and it was just methodical. LSU converted a 4th and 14 on that drive. Remember, they brought in Jarrett Lee cold off the bench. He threw a first down pass for 20 yards to Terrence Tolliver. So it was crazy how it all transpired. But T-Bob didn't even, like, when Lonergan went down the middle of the drive, T-Bob slid over and played center. So he wasn't, like, think about that. Had Lonergan not gotten hurt, and Lonergan's playing center instead of T-Bob, what happens? Anyway, it was really interesting. I'd highly recommend you go check it out. Your favorite podcast app. You can search Scone and T, subscribe up, or you can go watch it on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, where a lot of you are watching AFR right now. So we appreciate y'all for being there. All right, it's after further review. All right, this is something we started last week. Really enjoyed it, as with Week 5 in the NFL getting started. College football tonight as well. We take an opportunity here on Thursdays to tell you what we're watching this weekend in football.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
Pithy. Thank you, Chris Elliott. Muse, start us off there.
All right, I will, Matt. Very interested in Falcons-Bucks on Sunday.
Are you?
Very interested. Okay, so obviously we know the issues that Tampa's having offensively. We know the latest off the field with Tom Brady. Human nature, does that get involved? Tampa's a 9.5-point home favorite in that game. Atlanta, the only undefeated team remaining against the spread. Very interested in that. Of course, NFC South implications as well.
So when you say you're very interested, do you mean interested enough to take a glance at the Gamecast while you're at the box watching practice baseball in October?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Wonderful.
For sure.
Paulie, I think that's your cue.
What's that?
He went from the cap gun sound effect last week apparently to Peter Griffin laughing.
That's just a sound effect.
Got it. Sure.
About.
No.
Okay. I'm watching the Red River Showdown.
Why?
Because it's one of the greatest rivalries in the history of sports.
And it's two teams that stink.
Exactly. One's going to stink even worse after this weekend.
Or Quinn Ewers is going to be back. See that? There's a report Quinn Ewers is going to be back.
I saw that.
I will be interested to see how Quinn Ewers plays in that game, if he does return. Yeah, hit the sound effect. Come on. We need a transitional.
Didn't want to work.
Injured SEC quarterbacks, I think, are a big storyline. Bryce Young is hurt. Max Johnson is hurt. KJ Jefferson is hurt. Jaden Daniels was injured and left last week's game. Hendon Hooker coming off a bum shoulder. Will Levis is questionable, if not doubtful, for the game against South Carolina. With all of these quarterback injuries, could someone be ripe for an upset that we're not anticipating? Could happen. We'll keep an eye on the injured quarterbacks this weekend around the SEC.
Oklahoma State, and more importantly, the Big 12's playoff hopes could be on the line this week. Of course, Oklahoma State's undefeated. Nice win at Baylor last week, 7th ranked. They are the Big 12's playoff hopes. Welcoming Texas Tech, who's already knocked off Texas this year. Cowboys, 9.5-point favorites. Can they keep it going?
To the NFL, I'm watching Cowboys-Rams.
Okay.
Matt,
Talking.
your guy.
My guy.
Cooper Rush.
That is my
Don't
guy.
encourage him. He doesn't know him.
Paulie knows.
Yes,
What do you know?
Paul, don't encourage
You
him.
just sit over there all smug with your little quarter zip and your hat that you wear all the time that you're not wearing today.
You like that?
And you just deny the deeply rooted relationship that Cooper and I have developed and cultivated over many, many years.
All you had to do was say Cowboys-Rams.
My guy.
His guy, Cooper Rush?
No.
My guy.
He's 3-0, Matt.
I know.
He's good.
I know.
That's all I
got. Is this Brian Harson's swan song? When we're back on Monday, we could be talking about Auburn's head coach being fired. Of course, 6-7 a year ago. They're 3-2 right now. The embarrassing home loss to Penn State, blowing a 17-point home lead to LSU. Now you go on the road to take on a pissed-off Georgia team. If this gets ugly in Athens, it could be sayonara on the plains for Brian Harsin. Jeez.
There are 5.
So you have a cap gun. You're embarrassed that you chose a gun sound effect that everyone else knew was a gun except you, and now you've gone with Peter Griffin laughing as the sound effect.
Who's Peter Griffin?
Yeah, right.
There's 5 NFL road favorites this week. Now, they're all kind of predictable, like Philadelphia against the Cardinals or the Dolphins against the Jets, the Niners against the Panthers. Those are just a few of them. Might we see some upsets with that predictable of favorites in the NFL? It's never that easy. They figure to be pretty public. Keep an eye on them.
AFC North. Showdown this weekend between the Bengals and the Ravens. Both teams are 2-2. Obviously, the winner will take a lead for the division. The Bengals were 2-0 against the Ravens last season.
Ooh, good number there, Paul. By the way, the Ravens also, in their 2 losses this year, led by 21-17.
Yeah.
Like, they should be 4-0. They gagged away 2 wins. No NFL team is winless. So there will be no 0-17 team.
Hey.
Everybody's won a game. Only one team, however, is undefeated. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. They are at Arizona. Can the Eagles win at Arizona, move to 5-0, or will the dopey 1972 Miami Dolphins be popping champagne this weekend? Like, I hate to say it, but like I'm looking forward to a time when there are no more 1972 Miami Dolphins.
It's a stupid tradition.
It's very stupid. And by the way, the Patriots went 18.
Thank you.
Like, you're not that good.
They already beat your record.
Yes. Okay, that is what to watch. That's what we're watching this weekend. Of course, you got Thursday Night Football, which we will preview in about 18 minutes from right now. Jimmy is at his son's game tonight, but we will get Otterlocks. He's going to text me his pick, so we will get you Jimmy's pick before Thursday Night Football tonight if you care to wager. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Hey, remember, I want to remind y'all, tomorrow. Hey, Muse, when? Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is the HUDCO tailgate at Bowie Outfitters. I'll be there. Terrio will be there. A lot of our HUDCO crew will be there. Our guy, Hot Rod, Rodney Beloso from Hot Rod's Creole, who also works with us at HUDCO, will be cooking up a gumbo. Totally free. Come get some gumbo. Get you a cold beer. 11 to 2. Shop at Bowie. Hang out with us. Someone's going to win a $250 Bowie gift card. Someone's going to win a Patrick Queen autographed football. Again, tomorrow, 11 to 2. HUDCO tailgate party at Bowie Outfitters on Perkins in Baton Rouge. We'll look to see you when?
Tomorrow.
And, of course, you can go to HUDCORoofing.com. HUDCORoofing.com. Get that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing. Okay, when I got a break, when we come back, Mike Triplett will jump aboard with us. Saints losers of 3 straight. How in the world can they get back on track? Can they get back on track Sunday in the Dome against the Seahawks? We chat with Mike Triplett of NewOrleans.football next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Tell you every day, better coverage for less money. Looks like gas prices are soaring again. That stinks. And if you need to find a way to save money, look, there's only 2 ways. Either find a way to spend less or make more. That's how you get financial, relief. And if you don't have an opportunity to make more, then how can you save more money? Well, you could start by calling Insurance Network of Louisiana, because they shop independently for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. I love sharing great testimonials. There was a listener named Russell who had been with Liberty Mutual for 6 years, only 6 years. And they were able to save him $2,400 and reduced his hurricane deductible from $5,200 to a flat $1,000 hurricane deductible. Better coverage for less money. Insurance Network of Louisiana.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah! Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Mike! Yeah?
Saints coverage with some Mad Libs mixed in.
Why don't you just go by Mike?
It's time to talk black and gold with Mike Triplett of New Orleans Football, presented by Benny's Car Wash, family owned and operated since 1951.
Fired up. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Let it breathe. Forgot. Fired up to welcome Benny's Car Wash onto AFR as our new sponsor of our segment with Mike Triplett from New Orleans Football. How are you, dude?
Doing good. Last time I talked to you, it was 11:15 in a London hotel room. Feels like it might have been about 48 hours ago.
So I was actually going to ask, you should, it feels like, be reacclimated to the Central Time Zone. Are you?
Yes and no. It's funny. I've had the same conversation with every other media member, and even Cam Jordan said the same thing. The players have said the same thing. We're all screwed up. We're all waking up at 4:35, 5:30 in the morning, falling asleep at 9 or 10. So we haven't shaken the London out of us quite yet. But it'll be interesting to see if the Saints can do it, because that's no small thing. I mean, it opens themselves up for questioning if they are sluggish at all this week, because they chose not to have the bye after the London game, not wanting to have it so earlier this season. Now, of course, when they made that decision, they did not know, one, that they would be a 1-3 team, and two, that they would have the injuries that they have. I wonder if they could do that over again if they would. But a home game against Seattle, if they're able to win a game that they're favored to win in, that'll help shake a lot off.
But so, Mike, I look at it and go, the Vikings did it. And the Vikings went to London late. They left on Thursday, and they didn't seem any worse for the wear. So why shouldn't the Saints, in turn, be able to do it coming back?
Well, no, I mean, I agree with what the Saints did going for the entire week. You know, it's been good for them. There's obviously both schools of thought. And, you know, last week I did talk to a couple players and coaches who've done it both ways because they've been with other organizations. And it's really hard. I mean, everybody agreed the third day in London, you're still, you know, the first day you just sleep the whole day, you're just starting to feel like yourself on the third day. And a lot of people were, you know, going through Wednesday's practice saying, you know, if we were playing a game right now, that'd be tough. That, like I said, that should be like almost like the same equivalent of home field advantage, you know, giving you like a 3-point advantage on the home spread. It doesn't guarantee anything. You can still play the worst game. The Saints being acclimated to the time zone and the Vikings being less acclimated to the time zone, the team with the 2 turnovers and the 10 penalties is still going to lose every time.
Yes, the 2 turnovers, the 10 penalties were certainly an awful part of it. So that's been the recurring theme so far through 4 games, Mike. They're dead last in turnovers. They're dead last in penalties. So I know that's been a talking point this week, but how do they get that fixed, or can they?
Well, they're taking it very seriously. I'm not saying they're not. My opinion is, first of all, the law of averages will kick in at some point. Fumbles are not necessarily indicative of the type of team you have, and they've been all over the map. I mean, yes, Mark Ingram has 2 of them. For the first time in his career, he has 2 lost fumbles. Yes, Alvin Kamara has 1 of them. You know, you can count on one hand how many times he's lost a fumble. Chris Olave had 1 of them, you know, when he was falling down. One was Andy Dalton. I think that is something that, you know, they could go the next 4 weeks and lose 0 fumbles, you know, and you would hope that would kick in. The penalties, the false starts, that's something that is more indicative of, you know, they got to clean up this offense. They got to make sure that they're on the same page. They've had some alignment issues. They've had some offensive line protection issues. They've got to continue to clean that stuff up too. But it's not completely like the players that have been around for years have forgotten how to play football. So I have to think some of that stuff can be cleaned up. And the most promising part of it is we've seen the glimpses when they're not destroying themselves where they look pretty decent. I mean, and I think this is why so many people were so upset that Latavius Murray got snatched right up. The way the offense was looking in the third quarter of that game, they were like, oh, this is a clean offensive performance from the Saints where they're actually in 1st and 10, and then they're in 2nd and 4, and then they get a first down, and they can run, and they can throw. And it's like, this is what it's supposed to look like. We forgot what a clean offensive performance looks like. I think they have the talent to be able to do that, especially if Alvin Kamara's back this week.
Is Alvin Kamara going to be back this week?
I think so. I mean, you know, we saw him on the practice field every day last week. When I saw him on Friday, we were all kind of talking amongst ourselves. I was like, boy, he's not doing much. You think there's a chance he won't play this week? But everything I've seen so far this week makes me think he's playing. And he talked yesterday very confidently as though he feels really good and expects to play a big role. And that'll obviously be huge for this team. And I think Andy Dalton will be a good quarterback for him. Andy Dalton, you know, we've always talked about Jameis Winston and throwing to running backs. It's not a natural part of his game. I think it'll be a big part of Andy Dalton's game. So, yeah, they could certainly use a game where they rely on him being the best playmaker on the field. They haven't really had that all season yet.
He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. Our conversations with Mike are brought to you by Benny's Car Wash, Benny'sCarWash.com. Check out the unlimited membership club starting as low as $14.99 a month. Okay, Andy Dalton is, I would presume, going to be the guy this week again, yes?
They haven't announced that, but yeah, I mean, he's the only quarterback who's practiced all week. You know, maybe they're allowing for Jameis Winston to get on the practice field tomorrow and see how he feels, but I highly doubt it. I think we will see Dalton only in practice tomorrow and then get some form of announcement that Winston is either doubtful or out as early as tomorrow.
What were there noticeable differences in the offense to you with Dalton as opposed to Jameis?
Yeah, without question. I mean, it was everything we wanted to see from this offense. And I'm not saying Jameis Winston's incapable of doing it, but it was getting the balls out quicker. It was getting the balls, recognizing shorter passes, being willing to have 2 12-play touchdown drives, a 9-play touchdown drive. I don't think, the sample size is too small to say, oh, Dalton means 12-play touchdown drives and Jameis means you can't have those. We saw Jameis be able to do that last year. But I think part of the reason why Jameis was able to do that last year is because he was very effective running the football last year and keeping drives alive on third down by scrambling. And that was completely eliminated from Winston's game this year. But yeah, I mean, especially when they have Alvin Kamara back and Michael Thomas back eventually. I don't think Michael Thomas will play this week. But Andy Dalton being able to just, what do you say? Dink and dunk is the insulting way to say it, but I mean, we saw that. We saw, efficiency, and that's what this offense has been missing all year long, and we started to see it last week.
Mike, this feels, and I may be mischaracterizing it, but when I look at the Saints sitting at 1-3, they're home against Seattle, they're a 5.5-point favorite, and when I look at what's ahead with Cincinnati, a short week at Arizona, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Raiders, all ahead. This feels like as close to a must-win as you're going to have in Week 5. Is this one the Saints absolutely have to get on Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fair to say that. I mean, I think it's very possible that the Saints could have another clunker this week, especially because of the injuries they have and especially because of the travel they just went through. And then they could still have a very good final 10 weeks of the season. But at some point, you're out of time. I mean,
right.
I think we've seen enough of this Saints team to say they're probably about a 500 team, maybe slightly above 500. But let's say over the final 12 weeks, they're going to be 7-5. Well, you can't start 1-4, and that math doesn't work out at a certain point. So you got to, it's just like staying ahead of the chains, I don't think there's a good enough team to be digging out of a 1-4 hole, and the schedule does get tougher. So when you have a home game against a team that has played pretty well this year, Geno Smith's playing better football than anyone expects. They just put up a ton of points last week against Detroit. But these are the ones you have to take advantage of, and they're going to regret that they didn't take advantage of the matchups against Carolina and Minnesota because those were 2 beatable teams as well.
Mike, before you go, what do they need? I mean, look, obviously I could say, look, don't turn the ball over, right? But, I mean, what are things that you're looking for on Sunday for this team to be successful and beat Seattle in the Dome?
Well, I mean, those are the big two.
It is that. It is just that easy and obvious.
For the first time all year, and that comes on both sides of the ball. Instead of them turning the ball over, how about they already depend too much on this defense, but sure would be nice if they had one of those defensive touchdowns. That's what won Carolina the game when they were struggling a couple weeks ago. That can change everything. And then certainly, these drive-killing penalties, and they happen on both sides of the ball, and some of them were the ref's fault. Obviously, the Saints weren't too shy about saying that about the defensive penalties on that final drive that allowed Minnesota to get into the end zone for the touchdown when they got off the field on third down 3 times. But, you can't, if that stuff is just even, the Saints should be the better team. But, I mean, a big one for me is just the things where the Saints remind you once in a while that they're pretty good at this. Like, they've looked so inept this year on offense that, when we saw those glimpses of it on the 3 touchdown drives last week and then the 2 late field goal drives, just a reminder that they can mix the pass and run. And I think if Alvin Kamara is part of the game, everything he can do both as a runner when the offensive line is run blocking well, and we haven't seen him really get in space on those passes in the flat and things like that. So I'd like to see an healthy Alvin Kamara. If he's 100%, he might be the best player on either team on offense.
Mike, it's interesting. We haven't said a word about the Saints defense, intentionally or otherwise, but they seem okay there. They just got to figure out the other 2 phases right now.
Right. And look, unfortunately, I was saying a lot last week, I'm sure I said on your show that I thought their biggest advantage was that Marshawn Lattimore could hold his own against Justin Jefferson. He wasn't able to do that, but 9 times out of 10, Marshawn Lattimore is going to do a good job and I don't know if he'll shadow DK Metcalf, since Tyler Lockett is also a downfield threat, but if he's staying on one side of the ball, either way, that needs to be an advantage, obviously, for the Saints every week, and last week was a rare occasion when it wasn't.
He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, neworleans.football, neworleans.football. That's where you can get coverage from Mike, of course, Nick Underhill as well at neworleans.football. Mike's conversations with us every week here on AFR are brought to you now by Benny's Car Wash, bennyscarwash.com. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, man. Have a great weekend. We appreciate it. Of course, we appreciate our friends at Benny's Car Wash, serving the Baton Rouge area for more than 70 years. You can join Benny's Unlimited Wash Club. Membership start as low as $14.99 a month. And if you're a member of the Benny's Membership Club, you get discounts at all of their all the Be Quick stores as well. Benny'sCarWash.com, Benny'sCarWash.com. We appreciate Benny's for bringing you the Mike Triplett conversation every single week here on AFR. All right, it is after further review. Been a really good show. Jimmy has sent me the pick for Thursday Night Football, so I'll get you Otter's lock in about 15 minutes from right now. We're going to knock out a break. When we come back, we'll get a preview of Thursday Night Football. We'll let you hear from the quarterbacks involved, including Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson. Man, a couple of teams that offensively just vastly higher expectations than what they have been this year. I mean, two very, very bad offensive teams, and no Jonathan Taylor tonight for the Indianapolis Colts. That and LSU has announced who their football SEC legend will be this year. We'll give a hat tip to him here in just a moment. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pluckers. Of course, Thursday night, all-you-can-eat boneless buffalo bites. These are bite-sized chicken tenders, breaded, fried, tossed in your favorite wing sauce, and you can eat as many of them as you want all night long, every Thursday at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. It's Pluckers, voted a top 10 sports bar in America by USA Today. A top 5 wing restaurant by USA Today. Top 5 sports bar by ESPN. It's at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Great opportunity tonight to get by Pluckers, of course, because you got Thursday Night Football, both NFL and college. If you need a place to watch, get on by Pluckers. Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Uber Eats, DoorDash, check them out. It's at Pluckers. Remember, Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll get the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here as we are nearing the home stretch on a Thursday edition of AFR, is always brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We do have Thursday night football tonight. I'm excited about this one, mostly just because it's football. There's not a whole lot of reason otherwise to be excited about this one because, quite honestly, the thought of these two offenses, which are both pretty dreadful, doing battle tonight in Denver, aren't very appealing. But we will get to see tonight Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, Matt Ryan, and the Indianapolis Colts. Here was Matt Ryan talking about this putrid offense that tonight is going to be without their star running back.
I think we're close. I really do. I think, I continue to go back. The good has been good, and it needs to show up more consistently. But I do think we're close, and it's when you watch the film, it's little things. It's little things here and there, and I've kind of said it. Everybody has taken their turn in that, and that's the one thing we all have to clean up. Is in this league, you don't know when it's going to be the play that's going to impact the game, and so each play we've got to lock in one snap at a time and be focused and make sure we're taking care of our responsibilities. But I do think it's closer than it is far. The
Colts in Week 1 tied the Texans at 20. They were shut out by Jacksonville 24-0. Incredibly, they beat the Chiefs 20-17. Still not a great offensive day. And then lost last week at home to the Tennessee Titans 24-17. Now a short week when they have to hit the road to take on the Denver Broncos. I've talked about this often. It is just never easy to go on the road on Thursday night. The Thursday night, short week, quick turnaround is hard enough as it is. And when you have to then travel, you basically play on Sunday. Monday is, generally speaking, an off day. Tuesday is when you get your first day at work. But if you're playing on Thursday, then you work Tuesday, you travel Wednesday, and you play Thursday. It's just essentially get some treatment and go play again, which is what these teams have to do, and Indianapolis has to do it traveling. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson, question about the injury situation and to whether or not he'll play, but he seems confident.
Doing good, hanging in there. I think you play a competitive game, you get banged up a couple times here and there, but I'm excited. Obviously Thursday night, what a special time, what an opportunity for us.
Are you confident you'll be able to play on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm super confident. Yeah.
Denver is a 3.5-point home favorite tonight against the Indianapolis Colts. Again, we'll get you Otter's pick here coming up in just a few minutes. It is Otter Locks, as always. So we'll get you Otter Locks here in just a moment. All right, it's after further review. LSU has announced – this is crazy. LSU has announced their SEC legend we'll get to, and they have also dropped their hype video. So we'll get to that here in just a second as well. There's a very 1045 ESPN intimate tie to this hype video, which we'll get to in a moment. Let me take 60 seconds, though, to remind you about Mold Zero USA. Mold Zero USA. That's mold-0usa.com. For your home, for your office building, Mold-Zero USA. If you're dealing with mold or odors, call Jim and the gang over at Mold Zero. and let them help knock that out. They'll always give you a free estimate. And remember, this is a patented, non-toxic, dry fog technology. If you want to kill mold, remove odors, this is the way to do it. No demolition required. They're not coming in to cut sheetrock. They're going to spray this patented dry fog. You're only inconvenienced for as long as you have to be out of your house for it to dry, which is generally a couple of hours, and then you're good to go. It's safe for your family, for your pets, for your plants, and this will get into every nook and cranny and kill that mold. It's Mold Zero. Mold-Zero, USA.com. Mold-Zero, spell out. Mold-Zero, USA.com for Mold Zero. So LSU, I'm doing this cold because I just noticed that LSU dropped their hype video, and it appears as though it's either narrated by or featuring the morning show co-host. I'm gonna do this cold. All right, I'm gonna do this cold.
History is a beautiful thing. It's taught us a lot. No matter the weather, the circumstance, that we will endure.
Inside, picked off, Jonathan Senon, touchdown.
History has taught us that we will leave everything on the field till that scoreboard hits zero. Sometimes a little bit after.
LSU, a miracle in Baton Rouge.
Our fans, we can shape the very foundation of the earth. This ain't no volunteering. We got a job to do, and we play chess, not checkers. And when we hit that field, we will be fast, free, physical.
Oh, the coin more, and it's taken away and intercepted.
History's a hell of a thing, but I ain't here to learn from history. I'm here to make it!
We're going to kick that door in, laser locked in, and that's how we play LSU football.
Everybody, I want a round of applause, everybody. Come on. That deserves a huge round of applause. That has got to, so T-Bob narrated clearly the hype video, and I will tell you, that has got to be the most theatrical narration by, is there anything even close?
No.
I don't know that there has been a more theatrical narration ever.
I can't remember a hype video where the narrators actually appeared in the video.
So Ryan Clark did.
Did RC? Okay.
Yes, and it was the Alabama game in 2018, and LSU got shut out 29-0.
I remember the game.
So because did the that was the play on the whole we're coming and we ain't backing down. What Ed said the year before. But yes, RC was in the video in 2018, but that may be the only one. It may be. I don't know. But very well done there by Thabob. He did not tell me. We were with him last night at Moscona T. He didn't mention that he had done this. So he kind of went a little old Southern lawyer, like Pelican Brief, accent.
Oh, the judge from My Cousin Vinny. What's his name?
I don't know his name.
That's
but
that reminded me of.
A little bit of that. He kind of went a little bit of that.
I mean, T-Bob had to do a voice. I mean,
sure. The accent probably didn't need it. Probably didn't need. But yes, T-Bob's going to do an accent. Probably didn't need the accent. But very well done. Very well. I think Cody Worsham writes those. Very well done. I love the puns in there. Like we play chess, not checkers. Of course, the checkerboard, end zone. Some really good stuff in there. And then T-Bob smashed a chair and a television with a sledgehammer, if you're not watching. So I would highly recommend you go check out the hype video. I'm sure it's on all of LSU social media. Very, very well done by everyone involved. Congrats on a job well done. All right, it's after further review. Let's knock out our final break here of our Thursday edition of AFR. Excited about this. When we come back, I'll give you Otter's lock, and we'll do what we learned. Glad to have you aboard with us here. One segment to go on a Thursday edition of AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you
It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darin, James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
Of course, you've heard me for years talk about Darin James and the phenomenal customer service that I received, and that is the thing that sets Darin apart. And I've started telling you about so many others who have experienced the same thing. This is a review at Rate My Agent that says, return customer. Darin has sold our last 2 homes, and we purchased one with him as well. Don't think I'll risk it with anyone else again. Always very professional. Always timely with responses. He's also excellent at anticipating our needs, even the ones we didn't even know of yet. Thanks again, Darin, for getting our home sold so quickly again. Need to sell your home? You need Darin James. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yeah, obviously it would be a great environment. Crowd noise is a part of it anytime you go on the road, but, we practice the crowd noise, force the communication that's going to be needed during the course of game day too. So, typically we've handled it pretty well. That'll be a big part of the game, though, being able to handle the noise there.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. That was Josh Heupel there. No, we're good right now, Muse. So we normally do Otter Locks right now. Jimmy is at his son's football game. I do have Otter's pick, which we'll get to in a moment. I did want to talk about, because we have a little more time now, because the Otter's not here. I'll just give the pick at the end, and then we'll do what we learned. You know what? Give it to me. Yeah, go ahead. I kind of like our little vibey jam here at the end of the show. What is this called? The unlicensed music always has some.
I have no idea.
It always unlicensed music always has some little catchy name like "Strolling Through the Week" or something like that. Like that's what it like.
Yeah, maybe this was that. I clipped this over a year ago. I have no idea what this is called.
I didn't know if it said it maybe on
Oh no, it's labeled differently.
What does it say?
What we learn, bed.
Got it. I'm trying in earnest quickly. I think this is terrible radio to get to. Here we go. To get to a page that has music on it. Gosh, dog it. You know what? Never mind. I was trying to on one of my apps that has unlicensed music. I was trying to get to a page where I could read some of the names of the unlicensed songs. Never mind. So, by the way, Saturday, Tiger Stadium, 11 a.m. If you're going, be on the lookout for movie cameras as well. We told you a few weeks back that LSU has been chosen for the location and really the plot source of the movie, The Mascot, right? So the genesis is it's a sports comedy, a blue chip high school quarterback. He loses his football scholarship, and then he becomes the mascot. But it's not a fictional place. It's LSU. So the campus has been used for a lot of movies, right? Pitch Perfect, but it was Barden University. Even back in Everybody's All-American, at the time, it was called the University of Louisiana. It's the only University of Louisiana that actually exists. And that's fictional, just like the current one. Anyway, but this is actually going to be LSU and Mike the Tiger, and they've worked with LSU, and so they're using all the licenses and everything like that. So, they're going to be filming. The crews will be filming in Tiger Stadium on Saturday. So when they want crowd shots and game shots, they're going to get that Saturday during the game. So be on the lookout for the movie cameras. You could end up in a major motion picture. All right, it is after further review. We'll get to Otter Locks. Let me remind you about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. ShawBillsTire.com. Remember, at Shawbills, they treat you like family. A lot of places can sell you tires. A lot of places can change your oil. A lot of places can rotate your tires or check out your squeaky brakes or any of that stuff. But at Shawbills, they sell you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible, and they treat you like family. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. And name brand tires at wholesale prices. 17 locations. Find the location nearest you. Schedule service online. Shop tires online at ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. Okay. Here's your Otter Lock.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
All right. I know it's a little unorthodox that Otter's not here, but I will read you the text directly. Jimmy likes Denver minus the 3. I just checked. It's at 3.5 on DraftKings, but he likes Denver. He writes, Colts offensive line has fallen off a cliff. Lack of a running game has pinched Matt Ryan. Leads the NFL in fumbles and has lost a few. On the road on Thursday night makes it that much tougher for the Colts. Jimmy likes the Broncos 24-6. Otter taking the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. All right, wrap it up here. A Thursday edition of AFR. We appreciate you. Miss anything AFR on demand presented by Brett Golf. And if you're watching on YouTube, do us a solid. please smash that like button. Subscribe up to the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Muse, what'd you learn today?
RC
need
had a
our-
little bit.
our-
RC had a little bit of motivation after that 2001 championship game.
What?
What I said? What?
Our music, the outro music. We're inside of 30
yeah.
seconds. Muse. Thank you.
I didn't know what you were going for there. I didn't know.
Now we have we're out of time.
You know.
AFR.
What I learned today is that Jimmy Burrow is an AFR fan. Muse. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. Paul, what did you learn today?
Streaker wants to see Bobby Wagner in court again.
Thank you. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. You can shop your new or certified pre-owned vehicles online. You can work out your financing online. The website is super handy. The average car buyer visits 1.2 dealerships before making a purchase, meaning everybody just shops online now. It's what you do. So do that at SouthPointVW.com. If you want an electric vehicle, you can reserve your ID4 now at SouthPointVW.com or go shop any of their new or certified pre-owned inventory. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today